Hey guys, Serena here or just Sere. Welcome back to my channel. Have you ever second guessed your career path? Maybe your job feels extremely good and shiny from the outside, but deep inside you don't feel it's the right fit for you anymore. You want to use your skills and your strengths in a different way, but you're not entirely sure on the where and how. That's exactly how I have been feeling lately. I have been second guessing my career trajectory. I have a good stable job, but I don't feel necessarily super fulfilled in it. And I have been questioning a lot what my purpose should be. So early today, I was looking for content about career shifts, but I found an episode of a podcast that went a bit deeper into the topic of purpose, and that is something I really needed to hear today.
So I deleted the segment where I explained what podcast I am talking about. Classic me. It's the Mel Robbins podcast, and the episode is with Jamie Kern Lima, founder of It Cosmetics.
I wasn't familiar with Jamie's story, but it is a quite powerful one. She started off as a TV anchor, but after having difficulties finding makeup that would work with her skin condition, she decided to launch her own cosmetic products. She went off to sell her company to L'Oreal in 2016 for $1.2 billion. But despite this stellar result, the first years were definitely not an easy start. She tells in the podcast about all the rejections she had to face. Investor would not believe in her product, and she went through a lot of self-doubt. But she also tells about how trusting her gut and her intuition eventually led her to success. So I want to share with you the main takeaways I got from listening to this podcast, and hopefully if you're also struggling finding your trajectory, your purpose, these takeaways will also help you along the way. The first lesson I got from this podcast is that what in life feels like a setback, it is actually a setup for success in the future. Jamie explains how going through all those no's in her early years eventually led to the extreme success that she enjoyed further down on the line. Right now, I really relate with this setback part of it. I feel like I'm not progressing. Actually getting this role in my current job felt like a bit going backwards. But this sentence really helped me reframing how I perceive my current situation. While right now I might feel this is a setback, later in the future, once I zoom out, I will realize that it was exactly the place where I needed to be in this moment in time to then get to the following steps in my journey. I can't see it right now, but I have to be faithful that this is playing in my favor in the long run. So if you're also frustrated because you're not progressing at the speed that you would like to progress and you're also feeling stuck, maybe think about it as a setup for the future. Maybe the situation where you're in right now is going to propel you much further, a bit further down the line. Another thing that was said during the podcast that really helped me was that maybe the purpose that you're looking for is not to be found in your next job. This really hit hard because I'm putting a lot of emphasis in the type of career I want to create for myself. And that also comes from the fact that we spend so much time at work, sitting at a desk, if you have an office job, that having a job that doesn't really resonate with my strengths, with my overall purpose, feels a bit of a defeat for me. But Jamie says how you can actually build purpose beyond your job. You might need to keep a job that you don't love because it serves other purposes like supporting you and your family, but you can also build purpose in other areas and elements of your life. This was a very, very helpful reminder for myself. And it also invites you to be curious and pay attention to what happens in your life, because purpose might lie in corners you haven't explored yet. So if you have also felt like me that your next career move has to be the defining one, which will define your entire life, maybe really mention that and think that it's going to be just one of the many steps you're going to take in your life, but you don't have to put all your eggs in that next career basket. At some point in the podcast, the host, Mel Robbins, asked Jamie what advice she would give to people who feel stuck in this messy soup, she calls it. Basically, she's describing the situation where you're looking for something, but you don't know exactly what that something is, and you lack a grand vision. And Jamie's suggestion here is very simple. She says, do not expect clarity from the start. Do not expect perfection. Just go step by step and tap into your gut feelings, intuition, and see how each step feels. This is not new advice to me, taking steps by step and not expecting that everything is clear and perfect since the start, but it's a great reminder that I have to hear from multiple corners. I have this tendency to strive for a perfect vision and a perfect plan, but that simply is unrealistic. What I can hope is that by doing a few tests here and there in my life, I will put different pieces of the puzzles together, and at some point I will have a better clarity of what I want to pursue in the long run. This is, for example, what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel. I am uploading for now a YouTube video a week without the expectation that anyone will see it. But it's really helping me going through this process and putting my thoughts together. And I'm actually learning that I really enjoy the process. Listening to this podcast today helped me realize something very important, that my next job might not be the right way to find my purpose. My purpose might not be something I land, but something I grow into. And what I really have to do in the process is tapping into my intuition, listening to my gut, and trying to capture signals from things that I'm going to do, tests that I'm going to run, and hopefully I will gain clarity along the way. So if you're also stuck into this messy soup, you are trying to figuring out things and you are not sure of what's coming next, don't you worry. We're all going through this at some point in our lives. As Jamie reminds us during the podcast, believe in yourself, be faithful that answers will come if you take little steps along your journey. I hope this is helpful. I have dropped the link to the podcast in the comment section below. If you want to share your own journey navigating through uncertainties in life, in your career journey, please share your comments below. I would love to hear from you. And I'll see you next week with a new video. Ciao.